tira ki o koutou ngā pāpā. Titiro ake ana au ki o koutou. Tikana ki te maumahara rātou kua whetū rangitia, ngā tini mate kua whetū rangitia, hoki mahara. Ki a rātou i raro i te pūtake o mātou mai ngā tarawera rua wāhi a wāhanga hoki, no reira ngā mate haere, hoki atu rā. Ka huri au ki a tātou katoa, tēnā koutou ko Ken Rauriti a hau. First of all, it's appropriate for me to acknowledge my elders and George and the whānau, our kaumātua that have opened and given us their blessing to come onto the lake today, to be here today. So we're under the blessings and the goodwill and the aroha of Tūhaurangi and Ngāti Rangiti. So, and the other thing that it's incumbent for me to reflect and always remember, and me to those of our ancestors that passed away. And Tūhaurangi Ngāti Rangiti, we have many people that perished in the eruption of Mount Tarawera in 1886. There's lots of journals and documentation. Approximately 149 of our people died in that eruption and are buried here today, covered by the outfall of the eruption. So I have acknowledged and I mihi and we remember them. And whilst most of the journals, most of the writings of the eruption are a view that have been captured by the survivors. The survivors of the eruption were at Te Wairoa, were on the other side of the lake. All of my people perished in the eruption, those that were here. There were no survivors from Ngāti Rangiti of that eruption from our villages. The survivors were all over at Punarongia, where we boarded the boat today, up at Te Wairoa. So I start my talk to you this morning of just reflecting and remembering that and asking for your indulgences and reflections as well. Now, I don't want to bore you all day, but have you got your lunch? Because we'll be a while. I just want to sort of give you a bit of a kōrero about our mountain, about Ruawahia, Tarawera and Wāhanga. It's commonly known today as Mount Tarawera, but to our old people and to us, to our people, ko Ruawahia te maunga, we say that Ruawahia is the maunga. That was the old reference to the mountain. The mountain today is more commonly known as Mount Tarawera, but actually Ruawahia is the highest peak on the mountain. And looking at it from where we are now, facing it, so Ruawahia is the highest peak, it's almost right in the middle. Tarawera is the dome and the peak on the right hand side, and Wāhanga stands on her own, almost independently on the left. They're the three peaks. Wāhanga's a female, beautiful woman, and Tarawera and Ruawahia are males. There's lots of kōrero history around that. While I'm looking at the mountain, I just want to share with you the wild and pine control strategy that we've actually had on the mountain now for the last 6 years. Every summer we engage and employ 4 or 5 men. We like to have a crew of 5. This year we've only got 4, so employment must be strong. However, we employ 5 guys. We put them on the mountain Monday to Thursday. They live on the mountain every day during the summer, from October through to end of March. And they do what we call the control work of wilding pines. Control work is that they go through, they hand pull the smaller pines and chainsaw the bigger pines and what have you, and we just fell them to waste. Leave them there. There's nowhere else and there's no value in them, but also there's no way of taking anything off. We have a large group of volunteers, and there are a number of you on the boat today, and I acknowledge and thank you for the voluntary work that you've done with us to help us with the strategy. The volunteers, a year after the control boys have been through, we follow behind with voluntary work of hand pulling seedlings that have been seeded there 3 years ago, or 3 years previous. So the work is not complete. It will be ongoing, but there are a number. There's the Tarawera ratepayers, there are the Goodwins, there are the Mellansons, and a number of people on the boat today have spent a couple of, more than a couple of hours, I was going to say, a couple of days up there hand pulling seedling pines. So ngā mihi kia koutou. that strategy for us to get full control of the mountain in terms of the spreading invasive pines, we've probably still got 2 more years ahead of us. So we're halfway through this summer and we've got another 2 years ahead. That's just in the control work and the big stuff. We actually have to continue to hand pull and use volunteer groups and ratepayer associations and forest and bird and the tramping clubs and schools and every group that we can engage with to continue to stay on top of that wilding pine strategy. So I'll now move away from that because, and if you've got any questions around that, I'm just going to be around. I'm the handsome guy. The rest of you are all here. I want you just to look to your right, and there's quite a few white cliffs there. They're known today as the White Cliffs by a lot of people. That bay is called Moda. That peninsula to us is Moda. Moda, prior to the eruption of Mount Tarawera, actually had a Pātū Watawata, a Kāinga Pātū Watawata. It had a village where my people lived, and it had a fortified village further up where we retreated to under times of siege. So, like I said, there were no survivors from Moda. However, the importance of Moda as well is that, does anybody know about, when Ngāpuhi came down and invaded Te Arawa, and all of Te Arawa, we were sort of camped up on Makoia Island because we thought we were going to be safe, and we got done to, we got dealt to like a dinner. Well, one of my ancestors actually escaped from Makoia, and he swam to Kawahapui. He was pursued by Ngāpuhi. He managed to overcome a couple, and he fled back here to his pa here, to Moda. They pursued and followed him and caught him here. Now, we didn't have muskets, they had a few, but my karawa said, let us engage in one-on-one hand combat, and may the winner be the winner. And the Ngāpuhi, and this Don Stafford, I don't have to verify it by saying Don Stafford, but if it sounds fanciful, there is some verification. So my ancestor, Mokunuiarangi, engaged with Ngāpuhi. He was the victor, he defeated his attacker. They agreed that it would be just a one-on-one, you pick your man, we pick ours, and you guys go at it. After that, after he defeated them, Ngāpuhi went back to Makoia Island and talked of the bravery of Mokunuiarangi and the fact that they let the rest of those that fled here live, if that's the right way of putting it. So as I look at Moda, I think of pre-eruption. I think way back to even when the Ngāpuhi invaded our people, and I look there with pride, actually, with pride and with sorrow. So yeah, that's just a little bit. There's heaps of stories out here. I'm not the storyteller. I'm too harangi, just are immersed. We could sit here, eat lunches, point out different points and tell lots and lots of history. None of it's to do with water quality though. It's to do with the environment. And we're connected to this environment by the umbilical cord. We belong here. We always have. We're going nowhere. We never will. It's our home. Just like it's the home to many, many of you. And I was sitting beside, I'll say Mrs. Little, and just listening to her and the many generations of family that that they actually have here. I know the Fletchers have many generations, and the Donalds, so it's not an exclusive club. Whilst we belong here, there are other families that have been here for many generations as well. Andy, that's about it from you.
Where was the fortified position taken up on the top there?
Up on the top left. That left-hand corner?
I didn't know about that. The village was just below, didn't they?
That was the living Kāinga.
Yeah, they had caricatures and
that was the living Kāinga. You had, just like we do today, you live on the lake edge, plenty food. It's only the others that went right up high, but the higher up we went was for defence purposes.
Protection, yes.
Sorry, there were some questions being asked. Yeah.
Did you want to hit that?
Oh no.
Hey, well, look, there's just a couple of questions down here, but if you want to catch up with Ken, I'm sure you can learn a lot more about the history here, and that was really wonderful, Ken, to hear that. Appreciate what you said, and yes, it gives you a different feeling when you hear of the history of the lives that are lost and so on, and just take some time to think about that as we sit out here on the lake.